Hi there, my name is Tracy from Randomness of Rudy, and in this video we're going to talk about Cancer in a relationship with Gemini. This is actually a part of my YouTube series on the Cancer experience where I take a look at Cancer in a relationship with each sign of the zodiac. And so if you haven't seen the first video I did where I go a bit more in depth on what it's actually like to date a Cancer, please go back and check that out. Cancer with Gemini is very tricky. I don't see this match very often, and if I were to see it, I would definitely be somewhat concerned with the longevity of the relationship. And I know that sounds awful, but this can be a very tricky match to get off the ground. And it can be a very tricky match to sustain for the long run. And that's because both signs are just very, very different. Cancer is a water sign. Cancer is an energy that operates on a purely emotional level. So any decision that Cancer makes, it comes from, an emotional decision, basically. It comes from an emotional base. Gemini, on the other hand, is very cerebral and very analytical, and so therefore operates on a completely mental plane. And so these core differences are things to keep in mind when it comes to being in a relationship with each other. Cancer needs that sense of stability in a relationship. Cancer needs a sense of comfort and familiarity. Cancer needs, to a certain extent, some predictability in the relationship. Cancer is a loving and nurturing energy, and these are great. But Gemini is just not used to this. Gemini prefers a mental connection. Gemini needs a lot of stimulation and a lot of variety. Because Gemini is this nervous kind of knowledge-seeking energy, Geminis can be quite fickle, and so it can be very difficult to pin a Gemini down. It can be very difficult to get a Gemini to actually commit. And so these are things that can really make it difficult for the two of you to get a relationship up off the ground. With regards to sexual compatibility, again, a difference in natures between you is what can make sex between you somewhat awkward. Cancer, again, is the sign that really, really enjoys lovemaking and really enjoys connecting emotionally and really enjoys that sense of touch and feeling and passion and energy between two people. And Gemini prefers to keep things light. Gemini wants to, simply have fun. Gemini isn't going to be all that serious and touchy-feely in the bedroom. And so this is something else that can be somewhat of a deal breaker between these two signs. Now, if Gemini is the female in this relationship and Cancer is the male, then maybe the differences will be easier to tolerate. But if the sexes are reversed, this can be a deal breaker. And so it's important to keep in mind what's important between you. Cancer, if you're open to role playing, if you're open to doing something different, if you're open to a quickie, to be quite honest, then you may find that Gemini will be more willing to, be involved in foreplay longer and be more affectionate and doting and pay you more attention when it comes to lovemaking. So compromise could also be, something that resolves a lot of these differences. With regards to disagreements, again, and this will probably be a big sticking point between you. Cancer, when Cancer is upset, Cancer disappears. That's what Cancer does. When Gemini is upset, Gemini wants to debate. Gemini wants to talk about it. And in this situation, Cancer can really learn a lot from Gemini. Cancer, I say this all the time to Cancer clients, if you would learn to actually express yourself and to actually say how you feel, you would probably avoid a lot of disagreements and a lot of heartaches, okay? And so when it comes to disagreements between you, Cancers must learn to actually express themselves, and Gemini must learn to actually listen, okay? So a lot of difficulties between these two signs. Nothing that you can't overcome, but it is going to take some work, and if anything, it's going to take some understanding of how you both operate. If you want more information, feel free to visit my website at randomnessofrudy.com. And until next time, good luck.